All right. I'm going to call the August meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission to order. And we welcome, well, we don't have anybody in our audience except the petitioners, so welcome. The first item on our agenda is the consent agenda. Excuse me, do I hear a motion?
Move to approve this meeting.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okey doke. Okay, the first item, the only item of old business is the request of Shannon Rudelis. Am I saying that right? Of Lily Lou Homes to install a parking pad at 312 F Street, and if you will come forward. You know the routine.
All right, so we actually have several things that we're trying to go over today. But the parking pad, the driveway, is something that I do want to discuss again. Just because since the last meeting, I was able to find pictures online where the parking pad has always been there. There's actually a curb cut, and I purchased it with gravel. It's been in perpetual use for many, many years, and I actually have pictures to show that it has been in use for at least 8 to 10 years.
Okay, that's good, because we would have approved it had we had that information.
Yeah, that's
so.
very helpful information.
Yeah, and I went by and looked at this property twice.
Yeah.
And there were people busily working on it.
Yeah,
And,
I went by it
It's an existing,
too.
I don't see any reason why.
Yeah,
Yeah, I drove by it as well for that very reason.
Yeah.
yeah.
To see.
So we appreciate your due diligence. and
Well, thank you.
We learned from that. So what is before us really is the material to use for the parking.
So I had the last time I was here, red brick pavers, but we're open, but we were looking at red brick pavers.
Okay. Are there any thoughts,
Yeah, I think
comments?
those fit in the guidelines.
Yeah.
Is that your preference?
It is,
Okay.
yeah, that's the preference.
The only reason I ask is maybe you were perhaps thinking it needs to be accommodating somehow, but that's your preference.
Yes, that's the preference.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve red brick pavers?
Motion it.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it. Oh,
Okay. Okay. All those
I
in
would.
favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed? All righty. Okay, so we'll move on to the new business, which is the request to convert a door into a window and replace the porch piers, which are now concrete.
Right. So there had been a window there years ago, and then I would say, yes, then it was converted to a door probably in the last maybe 6 years. But previously, there had always been a window there. So I would like to replace it with a window, and I'm proposing it be the same size as the other windows on the front of the house, which is, I believe, what was there previously, originally.
So it looked like that window was 2/2 in the picture that you sent. Am I saying something wrong? That it was not the same?
It's interesting. They made that choice, and they had sidelights there too.
Yeah.
I guess maybe is that the lighting up a hallway, stairwell?
No, there's really nothing.
It's a stairwell.
Oh, yes,
right
a
there.
stairwell.
Okay.
But there's a landing of the stair at that window?
It's like the backside. It connects those two rooms that are on the front.
Okay.
But when you come up on the inside, do you come up, hit a landing?
So as soon as you go in the front door, the stairway is up, and then it goes right up. So you get the backside, and you curve back around, and it comes back towards the front of the house, and then there's a hallway between the two rooms right there.
But that picture as it is now with the door there, there's a floor inside there that you can step out on that.
Well, not outside, that's the roof, but there is
interior?
The interior, yes. There's a floor there.
And my guess is back in the day, because there's side lights on that window actually went all the way to the floor. And you could throw it up and step out there. I would have, with that flat of a roof on it, I would guess there was a railing. And there doesn't seem to be an evidence, but I think it's been re-skinned. But I'd guess at that point in time, you could go out there. You know, it's not a true door, but you could get the bottom
out the
sash up high
window,
enough to
yeah.
duck under and come out.
So existing now, where is the landing in proportion to that, where it is now, is it
The landing
a
on the-
step
for the
up
stairs?
or is it even? Yes.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So it steps, a couple more steps up.
Two
So
steps
it
up.
stops short of the actual second story level.
Okay.
And then in order to get to all the rooms, the other two rooms in the
steps
back,
up.
you take 2 steps immediately into the room. And you
Okay.
take 2 steps coming back the other way to get to the second level.
Okay.
It's weird that the far right window is a different size too. That's,
Huh.
when
Is
did
it
that
a
happen?
different
Because
It
if you
does
go
look
back
like it's
to the,
smaller.
if you go back to the historic photo, it was the same size there.
Huh.
We did not
Somebody
change
it's-
that.
And you can see the
Well,
evidence of
Is
shutters.
that the case right
I don't
now?
know.
Yeah, at
I
some
have
point
no
in time
idea.
that happened. But you can clearly see there were shutters here as well.
Well, we
Yeah.
have the original shutters that we're putting back on the house.
Oh, super.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you missed that, Timothy.
Yeah.
All that.
Okay. Good, good.
yeah. I thought that window now is the same size.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
I think
that's the
it
angle
might
of
be
it.
the angle, because I do believe it's the
Yeah,
same
I think
size.
they're the same,
The
too.
bottom sash just doesn't have the,
you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Go,
think-
go,
I think it
go
would stand
go one,
out.
go back to the white one just before that.
It does almost look if you, yeah. You have to look at the slats, you have to count them.
For the
It's close.
replacement window,
It will be,
and you mentioned, yeah, size material, same. Was it the 6/6 you were wanting to do, or are you wanting to go back to the 2/2?
probably what do you think,
6
the
over-
6/6?
It's up to you.
Probably the 6/6.
Yeah, I think that would look
Yeah.
good.
Is that gonna fit in the existing opening, like you're not making it wider?
No.
You're gonna leave the side lights, the two little skinny guys on the side?
We could,
You
That-
should.
I mean, that
We
would
still
be
have them.
appropriate, yeah.
I would
so.
do that.
And with that, it's, the 6/6 is gonna be a little skinny, wrong shape. They probably should be the 2/2,
The 2/2.
yeah.
The way it
Like
shows
that.
there.
Yeah.
And that
Maybe
can't,
that's why it was.
Yeah.
it's an odd concept that someone put in there when they built that, but that's probably why. The 6/6 would compete with the side light dividers. That's not gonna cost any more, a 2/2 versus 6/6.
Except, now you've got the side lights that come all the way to the floor.
Yeah, you
And
have
the
to
windows sit-
align the window with the top and then have something fill it, like whether it's siding that is the same color as the trim or something to kind of make it,
That's why I bet you the original
Yeah.
2/2s were the full size of this door, way back in the
Yeah, that's
day.
probably true.
Well, it could be.
Would you be interested in that? Making the window the size of the door, so it's 4 really big panes, sort of like the original?
I'd prefer not to. I think that would look funny.
I think historic like that. I think historically, because of those 2 skinny guys on the side,
Do you not think
you
that
think
would look
about
good?
when you bring the windowsill up, you're gonna have those 2 little skinny guys still down to the bottom, and now the windowsill is gonna be up 2 feet from below those.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to that, just as long as I can get rid of the door.
Yeah, I think we're definitely in
Just
favor of
the
the
door.
door removal.
Yeah, I think going to this,
Okay.
which is, because you can see the.
I wish we could see all of that window, but
Yeah.
that's the best picture
Well, if
that
you
we
start
have.
looking, the the meeting rails of the
Mm-hmm.
window of the center one are lower than the meeting rail of the window on the side.
That means
So
it's
that
a
means
taller
they're
window.
taller.
Yeah, that's good.
So that it would, in theory, be lower.
Yeah,
That'd be the-
I'm
Right, if you're-
I'm definitely open to that, so it's all uniform.
Yeah.
So,
Be fun if you could get the bottom sash of the one on the right back to 6/6.
Be fine.
Can I
Yeah,
ask
be
a-
fine, but we're not telling you
Can I
to
ask
do
a
that.
generic question?
Sure.
So, what is the reasoning to want to make it look like the old house. Like, I think Shannon came last time, and we were gonna put a stained glass in there, and everybody said, oh, that'd look beautiful, that'd look great, they think that'd be great, but we can't because it has to look like the old house. What is the thinking behind that? Because as an advocate for a house, wouldn't you want it to look the best rather than what it used to look like?
Well, because it's a historic district,
Yeah.
Well, so stained glass is historic.
but.
I mean, who knows? So this is an old picture, but at one time it is possible a stained glass could have been in there.
And if you bring that picture, then you,
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're an advocate for a house, why would you not want it to be better? Because I think it would be better with a stained glass window.
well,
Okay, we've already passed.
better
that.
is subjective.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say that my thoughts in the last meeting about the stained glass wasn't so much like better or worse. It was appropriate for the style of the home. And I think
Oh.
stained glass you see a lot more with like Queen Anne, Victorians, those kind of like a lot more ornate houses. So, but yeah, so
Yeah,
I
this
think that
is
was
a-
my feeling about it. It's not the stained glass per se, it's just the style of the house,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so, um,
So stained glass is out then?
I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
did
Yeah,
that
we already-
last
we
time.
already-
yeah,
we
and
did.
we're okay
Last
with
week.
that. I'm not sure why we're
Yeah,
opening it up.
I know,
All right.
but I just wanted to confirm, because I have a rental property that is stained glass on the top of the landing, like yours.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a step up, and it was original to the house in 1932.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so, I think then we just need to do the full window with the side lights. And now we do have a window in the back of the house that has the 6/6, and we didn't put this on here, but we could swap them out and put the one that's the 2/2 in the back. They're exactly the same size. We could do that. But we didn't put that down here, so, you know, I'm not wanting to hold anything
Yeah.
up for that.
Yeah, I think the 2/2 is the most appropriate
No, I'm
based on
talking
the
about for the
historic.
one that is the 2/2.
Oh, on the one on the side?
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be an issue at all.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to move them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, put the one that's the 2/2 in the back and put the 6/6, so they all look the same on the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
And then the next thing would be the pillars, because, yeah, you can just see they are, and, yeah. And they're not even in good shape. They're all, there's gaps and it's not real sturdy, so we just
Yep.
need to redo that. And we were looking to do that with the red brick.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Yep.
Yeah, cinder blocks were not original
Yeah, that
anyway.
makes all the sense.
Yeah.
Okay, do I hear a motion? I think we can
Sure.
do it all in one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the brick piers at the porch, generally matching the red brick of the base of the rest of the house, foundation of that, and switching out the door to a 2/2 window, generally the same size as the door
Okay.
now. And if you want to add in switching the window from front back, that's good.
Yeah, I would like to
Yeah,
do
let's
that.
say that we
Yeah.
approve that.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a second? Any discussion?
I'm here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Excuse me.
We're just marching right along.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you're good to go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, thank you.
We look forward to seeing it.
Yes,
Yeah,
I look
that's
forward to
good.
getting it done. All right, thank you.
Okay. Do you want to lead the discussion about the next two items?
So, I think the last nomination that came before you was for the lower basin expansion. So similar to that, we received 2 nomination packets in the mail, for Stay Clean Bakery and, Poplar Forest. That one is just an update. Stay Clean is completely new. But the commission has the opportunity to comment before it goes to the boards for their review and hopefully approval. We'll send them, last time I think we sent them the minutes from the meeting, just so they could see your comments, and that was kind of our commentary. So we'll do the same thing again.
Okay.
Steve, could you Google Earth, the first one, the bakery.
Yes.
I meant to get by there on the way here and flat ran out of time. And so that's sneaking up on being redeveloped. Would be, because I looked at that building for a developer 10 years ago.
What was your conclusion?
Early 1900s.
That's a lot of square feet.
Yeah, it was going to be multifamily. Yeah, I don't know if there's, that'd be my guess, if it's percolating. It's a bunch of different levels inside. So it would be in and of itself, it's not a part of a district that we're making it contributing, we're making a, just it,
Right.
well, we're not,
Yeah, it would just be the individual.
DHR is.
Yeah, just the individual building. There's a couple of other, you can see the dark green on this map is state national district or sites, so it would just be a standalone, kind of like these.
And if, by doing sitting in the architect's chair, by doing this, it will allow a developer to come in and do a renovation, probably go to multifamily and get historic tax credits, which is what'll allow them to do it.
Yeah. But we don't know who did this, is that right?
No, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it'll, as opposed to sitting empty and boarded up,
Right.
it would definitely increase the opportunity for development.
Is the parking lot part of that property, or is there no?
There's just the building. Mm-hmm.
There's that little one, oh, that doesn't look like it's part of the property.
That,
Yeah.
no, that's separate.
No requirements. In urban zone, just like all downtown.
Does anybody have any comments or questions?
So there is really no parking.
Yeah.
Property is
Yeah, we
barely,
were saying, Paul, it's just like downtown. You
Yeah.
know, it's fine where you can,
Yeah.
if it becomes an issue, a project. Some fun spaces inside. I remember. So enjoyed how I did this building 10 years ago with the developer.
Storage most recently.
Yeah.
Someone's redeveloped that, that's awesome. You know,
Much worse.
parking downtown is becoming an issue, but that is not our concern. But it should be somebody's concern, but it's becoming a real issue.
Density is good.
Yeah,
I didn't know about those kind of doors.
I love that.
Fire doors.
I know, but I want to know more about them.
I can check.
So I haven't done one of these before in my time on the commission. Is there like a downside to doing this that I'm not thinking about, or?
When it's nominated and approved to be on the National Registry, is really more honorary than anything. They don't have to come for COAs or anything like that. It's not a local district. They would face restrictions if they did do federal tax credits or state tax credits, but that's kind of the only restriction. Mhm.
But by doing that, you get 25% state and 20% fed rebates on taxes.
And then,
It's what drives developers
yeah.
in these markets.
And then if they were to use other kinds of federal money, like a grant or federal permitting or that type of thing, then they would also face Section 106 review, but that's only when federal funds come into question. Mhm. Yep. So So I think last time you did a motion of support. You don't have to do that. It's purely commentary, but
Yeah, I would certainly favor that.
Yes.
So is that a motion?
Yes, motion.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
and then the second one is Poplar Forest they were originally nominated and approved. Let me go down. Yep, in 1969, but it didn't explicitly state the criteria for eligibility or identify the areas of significance, since those weren't originally required on the form at the time. So this is to expand on that original nomination and update the information that's provided. There is a small part in Lynchburg, which is why it's coming before you for comment.
How many acres is that approximately?
617.
I never heard of this building. Can anyone enlighten me about this?
I think it might be historic.
I'll make a motion to approve. We can still move into discussion after. I'll second that as well.
Okay, is there any discussion?
No.
So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, is there any other business? Eve, you want to explain how this is going to work? We're all excited.
Yes, so we have been working on getting a grant from DHR, one of the certified local government grants to fund this training. It's through the National Alliance of Preservation Commissions, and it's called CAMP. But basically it'll be a full day workshop, 9 to 4, for 6 topics, about 1 hour each, and we get to pick those 6 topics. There will be no fee for attending. It'll be open to you guys first and staff, and then we'll open the registration up to other certified local governments, commissions, and staff. It'll be for about 50 people. We're gonna have it at Easy Speak Dance Hall downtown. And yeah, so I really wanted to see if anyone had any preferences for any of the 14 topics on the menu, and I can pull that up.
I think definitely the ones that were suggested, like recommended at the bottom, the legal basic standards and guidelines and the meeting procedures would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I also was pretty interested in the, what was it called? It was about the materials, alternative materials. I think that'd be
Yeah.
really helpful for us as well, because that's
Yeah,
come up
I
a
agree.
couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So there aren't any bad topics.
Yeah.
No.
They're all.
The one thing we've discussed here multiple times in the last 6 years I've been around is demolition by neglect.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that we haven't been able to stop.
Yeah.
And I would love if we could, that's number 14, well, it's one of the items on 14.
Mm-hmm.
The others aren't so much important. I don't know if they would say we want to look at that one mostly,
Right.
but we've lost several buildings in town where the owner just doesn't do a darn thing. That really nice Civil War era warehouse that was down off of 12th Street, just diagonally across from the courthouse, they just never touched it, and basically the back wall fell down and then it was condemned structurally. And that was a stunning building that shouldn't be like that. And we see houses as well as larger structures happening all the time. So that, for me, that's one that I agree with you on the ones you were talking about, Julian.
Yeah, I definitely support that one as well.
I like the one about resources of the recent past. That it's easier for us to look back at, Queen Anne, but some of the buildings from the 60s, 70s, and as I said, even the 80s, that could be easily dismissed as non-contributing, can actually be quite contributing to a historic district. And some of the problem with it is some of the styles, like brutalism, is unloved by many people. But nevertheless, it is significant because it is of a certain time. So, I don't know, I just thought that one would be interesting, informative, so.
So I think the one enforcement and violations would deal somewhat, I would hope, with demolition by neglect. And the problem with demolition by neglect is it's a city problem. It's not a historic preservation problem per se, but it's all over the city.
I guess
And,
the other question goes is this just for us, or do we get to invite city staff, city council, folks that would benefit by hearing certain, not all of these with all those people,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah, it's primarily for staff and commission members who are dealing with this mostly. And we'll open it up at the end if we have open spaces to other groups like the city staff who don't deal with this as much, or if council members wanted to come. But that we'll have to see how registration, like how it fills up.
Do we have X slots that we get?
Yeah, 50.
50.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you invite like Danville's HPC?
It's, I think it'll be open to the state CLGs, the certified
wow.
local governments. So anyone who wants to travel and signs up, they can
Okay.
come, yeah. So it won't just be Lynchburg, it'll be
Okay.
all of the CLGs.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you encourage city council to attend?
They'll be on the second tier of registration, so if we have openings and they want to come, I don't think a lot of these topics would necessarily apply to them. Some of them would be good for them to hear, but yeah, we'll keep it focused and then open it up later.
Do we have a sense, maybe from that survey we all did, like that I think was a statewide, of what are key issues across the state that people are dealing with? Because what the six of us think is beneficial may or may not be the biggest topics
Yeah.
around the state.
Really the only guidance, they really only suggested the 3 camp essentials, but other than that, they didn't really say, well, we recommend that you do this. It's kind of up to what we want to do. Yep.
I think with what we've heard was, the ones I've marked that I've heard people say are 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and 13.
I also like to throw 12 into the mix as well. It's community engagement and building public support. I think that's something that we deal with every meeting. And there's a great example of that tonight. Like, why do we make the decisions that we make for the houses, case by case? And I think if we can maybe have a universal language for communicating those reasons and going beyond that and engaging the public proactively, because I know that right now it's not really, our position is not a proactive position necessarily, unless someone reaches out directly to us. So I think that could be helpful in maybe developing some future strategies around communication, but
Yeah, it'd be great
it
if
just seems like that's a
there were
regular conversation
public-
for us.
hearings is not right the word, but situations that the public could come into, but, historically, you get such poor attendance at those things. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost knock on door to door to really make those.
Right, because it's not relevant to them till it's relevant.
Till it's relevant,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think having this, going through all of these different learning opportunities, but 12 specifically, would be beneficial when we're dealing with something that's been appealed as well, because I know for me, I'd be better educated on how to talk about why we made the decision we did based on, you know, why it's necessary to be preserving historic buildings. And so it just seems like this specific topic would lend to that.
And how many are we supposed to choose out of?
Only 6.
Six, yeah.
And we have
So
how
we've got how
many?
many now?
That's 7. If we add that one, that's 7.
Okay, okay.
And, yeah, and I mean, staff will still have to talk about it, so I'm not guaranteeing that these will be the topics, but I did want your input
Yeah.
moving forward, so.
Okay.
Great.
Anybody else want to chime in while we have a chance? Okay. Any other business?
That's what they wanted, they specifically picked.
Okay, if there's no other business, we are adjourned.